Why do I feel like I'm sick?
You sound a bit sick.
I feel it.
I have a sore throat at this side.
I do have the shits like.
Oh, lovely. Stay away.
Right. Hello and hello and welcome back to the Craic Heads Podcast with myself, Kegs.
And me, Shannon.
So welcome back to all of our regular listeners. And
Hey,
if you're
guys.
new here, this is a podcast for the gals and for the gays and for anyone who's up for a bit of crack.
Yeah, just think of this as your crazy group chat with your very dysfunctional big brother and big sister.
So I'm actually joined by a new co-host today. Look at this.
I've
Brand
got
new
a
gal.
bob.
Brand new gal.
I've got a bob for audio only listeners. I got my hair cut into a bob, and if anyone has seen me in real life, it's such a change.
No, I love it. You
Thanks,
look
I'm actually so chuffed.
unbelievable.
I'm so chuffed. It just feels very like funky or something.
No, I love it. It looks so cool.
Thanks.
Like so cool. And your wee gorgeous face and everything. Somebody commented on my thing or messaged me recently, and I was like, I feel like we are TikTokers, but we're not with the TikTok lingo because I think we're a wee bit older than like the younger ones. Does that make sense? Someone messaged me this here like TikTok lingo on about like a face card, and I was like, can you speak English? What do you mean? And he was like, come on, man, you're a TikToker. He's on about your face, basically saying you're stunning. And I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? He was like, man, you're a TikToker. You need to give it the TikTok lingo.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute.
But yeah, what's the crack, guys? So I don't know. I think I'm a wee bit sickly today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Yeah, you sounded. I'm saying to Kegs, please stay away from me because I have a wedding to go to tomorrow. And I do not want to be sick. I actually said the left side of my throat. I was checking my tonsils this morning because it was like, you know, when you swallow, you're like, feels like there's a big gunky thing there. Yeah. But it looked all clear, so I'm just stay away.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'll be fine. Maybe it's lack of sleep and the amount of socialising I've been doing.
Yeah, you've been a social butterfly this last while.
Ish and nay. I've kind of been keeping myself, but also like I've been doing bits and pieces. So we could probably just fill each other in. What's the crack this week? To be fair, what's the crack with you this week?
This week, so I went to a merge, as did you. You know, I only done the Saturday as well.
Yeah.
We didn't go for very long. We only went at like 8 o'clock. Literally watched Hannah Lang. Patrick Toppin was not doing it for me. We just left. I used to love him back in the day. I feel like he's went very commercialised.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, he's like, he knows where the money is, basically, I would say. And he knows if he is a bit more commercial, it kind of suits a wider audience. But obviously, no, I'm not. I love a bit of heavy techno. So I left after Hannah Lang, went back to my friends, had a few drinks, and then we went to Thompson's of all places.
Oh, nice.
Long time. Well, I was there for Pride.
Perfect, yeah, but it's a bit
but
different.
apart from that, I haven't been in ages. But it was actually a brilliant night.
Yeah.
Really, really nice crowd. I actually have a story from it. Like, I just love good people. Yeah. Right? So I'm not gonna lie, there was quite a few creeps there. There really, really was.
I'm a merge.
At Thompson's.
Oh, really?
Some by themselves, some in groups, and
we're just lurking about the place, like.
Yeah, it's so honestly, any
what
girls,
sort of age
even
bracket
fellas,
do you reckon?
Not even, probably 20s.
Really?
Early 30s. But girls, please, if you're out at the minute, stay with your friends. Stay with your friends. I was with my friend, obviously, which was grand, and we obviously were keeping ourselves to ourselves, having a wee boogie, chatting to people, yes. But at this stage, we were dancing away. There was two situations. The first one was this guy just completely by himself. I don't know, he's maybe with people, but he just kept coming over and touching me. And I specifically said, can you stop coming over to me, please? And he was drunk, but it's no excuse. I'm sorry, I don't care how drunk you are. If you're told someone's boundaries, you take yourself off.
To respect people, what
just
the hell?
Kept coming over, kept trying to touch me, kept trying to speak. And God help this wee fella. He was in a bad way. You know, up the stairs, sitting in the wee booths, the wee seats. He was sitting and he was in a bad way. God love him. You could just tell he was getting it tight. He was getting it tight. He got all his strength together, walked over and just told the fella, I wonder would you clear off? She's clearly told you she's not interested.
Fair play.
Looked at me and was like, went and took a wee seat, and I had to go over to him. I was like, thank you so much. I was like, we need more people like you in the world.
100%.
Thank you. That's really appreciated. Really good deed. And he was like, I couldn't sit and watch that, love. But just, that's what we need more of, because fair play to him, because it just, then the fella did leave me alone because I think he was a bit scundered. He was like, oh, sorry mate.
Yeah, 100%. You need people to do that.
Yeah, then there was another one later in the night, two fellas, and again had told them, we're not interested, please back off. And they were saying, they were telling us where they'd just moved here and where they were living and blah blah blah. And I was like, look, lovely to meet you, but we're just keeping ourselves to ourselves kind of thing. And they just wouldn't get the hint, kept trying to touch us, whatever else. And again, another fella had came over and told them back off.
That's crazy. That's what happened twice in one night.
He says to me that that was the second time he'd had to do that tonight.
What?
Yeah. So I don't know. I hate to say it, but girls, be careful because there are creeps out there.
Yeah, 100%.
But there's also, that's what the happy side is. There's also such lovely people out there that will look out for you. So yeah, happy ending in the end. Like I kind of felt good.
Yeah.
It was like, it's, you know, it gives you that wee bit of extra faith in people around you, that like people are looking out for each other and
100%.
people are aware. So
Because we actually have a story similar about, well, you continue with your week in a sec, but we can continue a story similar to what you're just talking about, where you need to look out for people, and you also shouldn't be leaving your friends if you're going to get in a state, because I also ended up going to Emerge last second. I was laughing at me at the podcast, like, I'm absolutely definitely not going to Emerge, and of course I got a ticket last second.
it's so funny.
But yeah, so obviously I was leaving Emerge and ended up with a really cool group of people. One of them was actually coming on the podcast next episode, which you'll see soon. But we were walking back, and basically we had seen this girl who was completely by herself from Cork, just about knew her own name. She was obviously on something, like her eyes were rolling to the back of her head, lost her phone, didn't know where she was staying, could barely walk. Like we were like, we can just leave this girl on her own. So the group that we were with, we were like, right, we sort of looked after her for a while. And to be fair, the girls that we were with were really good. Like they're proper, like looking after her, trying to help her get like to find her friends. I was on my Instagram trying to search up her friends' names, couldn't find anyone, couldn't find even the girl who it was
Scary,
herself.
isn't it?
And we were like, what do we do with this girl? She's from Cork, doesn't know where she's staying, doesn't know her friends' names, can't log into anything because she has no phone. We were like, what do we do with her? So we looked her after for an hour, and then eventually we seen a police van drive past, and we were like, we're gonna have to give this girl to the police. So that's what we did. And
the safest option. Scary night for her all the same, but as you say, just don't leave your friends,
especially
for your safety and their safety.
If you're going to get in a state like that, if you're going to get on substances and like get in a mess that you might potentially get into, do not be by yourself. No. It's so dangerous. Like if you have a solid group of people around you and you know you're looking after, okay, yes, it's probably not good to get that state regardless. Like it's probably not, but if your people around you, you might feel a bit safer to get in that state. But if you shouldn't be getting in that state regardless. Plus, you shouldn't be leaving your friends. Do you know what I mean? You have
to be so careful.
But also at the same time, I went out last night by myself. To be fair, I was sober, so it was a bit different. But I went out last night by myself, and I still recommend people doing things on their own. I suppose going to James Arthur.
Keep your wits about you.
Yeah, keep your wits about you if you're going to be by yourself for sure.
Yeah. No, it was scary to think. I don't know. You need your friends. You need your friends. And no, like realistically, people go, but like, what's your friend going to do? It deters people from making more advances if they see that you're with a bigger crowd or someone else, 100%. But yeah, that was that night. Wasn't even that hungover the next day. No, I had a decent.
Jealous.
I was just a wee bit tired and just had a wee chill day with my boyfriend. And I can't even remember what happened before that weekend. You know what I'm like? My mind just goes blank, completely blank.
I can't even think. We done the podcast on Wednesday, so there was just sort of Thursday, Friday before.
Yeah, didn't do very much, to be fair, I don't think. But then yesterday I got the haircut in Mac Hair in Belfast. They were so good. The girl that done it was called Annie. She was a babe. She was so talented. I'm actually going tonight again to get, even though my hair's clean, they're going to blow dry it and like set it in rollers that I can sleep in, so that in the morning my hair's all nice for the wedding.
Slay.
So I'm going to this wedding tomorrow, and I was briefly telling you before the podcast, I've never met the bride or groom.
Really?
Never met the bride or groom. I don't know.
I think that's crazy that they're inviting people to weddings if you've never met them.
But I think it's the whole thing of my boyfriend went in the stag do.
Okay, so he's close, that's different.
He's being invited and I'm like the plus one.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just like I have so much anxiety and I know they'll be fine. Like if my boyfriend's friends with someone I trust, they're going to be a good person. So that's fine. But it's just like a new situation. I'm not going to know anybody there, so there is a wee bit of anxiety around it.
To be fair, those sort of things push when you're going and you don't really know anyone, it pushes you out of your comfort zone, and it actually is good for you to grow yourself as a confidence and stuff too.
And I think it'll be a beautiful day, so I am excited. Have you been to many weddings? I've not been to loads.
As an adult, I've been to none. I've been to my uncle's, but that was like 6 years ago. And that was the only wedding I've been to as an adult. The rest I haven't, because I'm the oldest cousin basically on like both sides of the family. All my family are way younger, so I've never really been to weddings, and plus none of my friends have got married yet.
They're not at that stage. That's kind of like me. I've only been to, I think, 2 from I've been, like legal age to drink kind of vibe. I've been to ones when I was younger, a bit like yourself, but this will be my first one that's like
you're an adult and you're going as an adult? Not
first, actually, because I went to my auntie's a few years ago, and I went to one of my friends. I went to one of my friends from work.
Yeah.
But yeah, this will be the first one in a very long time. But I'm excited. I just don't want to get too flipping drunk, especially when you don't know many people. So I need to pace myself because
Yeah.
weddings are an all day
Can be
thing.
messy. And some weddings there's like free alcohol and all too.
Yeah.
So it can be messy like.
Yeah. So I need to pace myself. Don't want to make a scene, but I'm excited. I've rented a wee dress and picking it up tonight.
Gorge.
So it'll be the first time getting all glam with the bub.
Oh my god, no, I can't wait to see the pics and all.
I know, I'm so
You're
excited.
gonna look gorgeous.
So excited.
No,
So
I
that's
just love
it
the
for
hair. I
me.
keep looking over. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute. You need
I
to
just
keep
keep
it.
like flicking it because obviously I'm usually a middle parting girl, but I
Yeah.
feel like I can get so much volume now. I'm like boom, boom,
You
boom.
actually have loads of volume, It
Yeah.
looks class. Did
Yeah.
you get coloured in it as well?
Yeah, she done just like a little section at the top
Cute.
because I was supposed to be in 2 weeks' time before I go and get my boobs done. I was
Yeah.
supposed to be in to get my full colour done.
Mm.
And then whenever she done just the top of it, I was like, oh, I text my usual hairdresser and was like, do you know what? Can we postpone that appointment? Because just doing the top bit, it looks totally fine. So I'm just going to wait and get it coloured like probably just before the Bava Awards.
Okay, yeah, sick. I'm thinking of doing something different in my hair now as well.
I loved your hair blonde.
I love my hair blonde as well, but I'm just as scared to do it like that. So I was thinking maybe a wee perm. I am debating
perm.
it.
Now the only thing with the perm is, so Kieran actually got a perm, my boyfriend,
Yeah.
and he was in Australia. Now the difference is he was in Durban
Okay.
and he went to like a perm specialist. So a lot of the people that are specialising in perms are from Asian descent
Right.
because the Asian hair is like, I don't know if it's harder to perm. It's very popular. Because obviously most of the time they've very, very poker straight hair.
Yeah.
So Kieran like did his research, went to this place, they were amazing. But he's in like 40-degree heat wearing a hard hat and it literally lasted like a couple of weeks. But I don't think he took care of it right. Do you know, like I think
not.
he needed to use product and scrunch it each morning and maybe
that's what
put
I'll be
something
doing.
over it and where he was just getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, sticking his hard hat on and going to 40-degree heat.
100%.
But I loved it when he got it done.
See, I
just
love
that wee
a
bit of
perm.
texture.
I think so. My hair's super, super, super straight, and I think I like wearing it down and not having to like style it and stuff. But if I just wear it down, I kind of have to style it because the way my hair transplant is, it's like it sits nice when I style it, but like sometimes if you wear it down and you don't style it, you can see it sort of sticks out a wee bit just from the hair transplant, which is not
curly
normal.
C.
So I wouldn't mind a wee curly bit, and also whenever I see guys with a curly mullet, I'm like, oh my god, you're so fit. So I'm like, I want a curly mullet.
I love curly hair.
So I think I'm gonna try and get her, but I'm also scared of damaging it. You know what I mean? I don't like doing things like the
Is
chemical.
there, see, because obviously you've had the hair transplant.
Yeah.
Do you have to be more careful with your hair? There's more chance of.
I don't know if it's just because my hair's weak anyway. It doesn't matter if I have a hair transplant or not. It's because my hair's weak anyway. I need to be careful regardless of products I use. Of like,
And the hair at the front of your head came from the back.
yeah, came from the back.
So it's just the same as
And
well.
like I do love my hair transplant, but I'm a wee bit afraid of it going like thin and stuff again.
Yeah.
And like I went to Denise, you know, who owns Voodoo's, and she did a scalp examination on me, and she was like, "You need to be careful. Like your hair's not that like strong to get like stuff done to it."
I wouldn't do a perm. Then perm's even worse than bleach.
Really?
The chemicals, yeah. The chemicals.
See, I wonder, could I go to the people and be like, "Can you do my hair but not touch the scalp?" Just like the ends.
You could try it.
I don't know.
You could try
I'll
it.
see. So yeah. If anyone wants a hair transplant, message me. I've got a discount code.
Yeah. You do have a good hair transplant, to be
Yeah,
fair.
it's been sick, to be fair.
So what about your week? Tell me.
My week. So I always write down what I done for the week. I'm going to talk about the story of the man jumping in front of me in town. I fucking shit my pants. I was basically going on Friday to my friend's leaving do, and I was just like in town doing a bit of shopping or whatever, and was walking through the town on my phone, and literally out of nowhere, you know, you're just walking on your phone, mind your own business. Out of nowhere, this fully grown man. Can I say smick?
Yeah.
Is that allowed to say?
Yeah. I love a wee smick, not like fancy them, but I think they're a gag.
Okay, so I don't know if that's appropriate terminology, but like I'm scared to say that. I don't know. But this was like a fully grown man who would maybe pass as a smick, if that makes sense. And I don't know. And he walked past me, right? And out of nowhere, jumps. He was a group of 5 lads. Jumps in front of me. He must have been drunk, surely. Like, sure, you wouldn't do that when you're sober. Jumps in front of me, but throws his like fist in front of my face just to like, you know.
Do you think you're getting attacked?
But like he jumps in front of me, put his hand in front of my face. I fucking shit myself. I thought I was getting jumped by these 5 lads, but as soon as he put his hand out, he screamed, "TikToker!" And like I just jumped back, and I was like, "Holy fuck, mate, you scared the shit out of me." I thought I was getting battered, but I was like, he was laughing at me how his mates just walked on, and I was like, "Ha ha ha!" But like we get people coming up to us, and we always love to chat, say hello, but jumping in fucking front of someone to scare the shit out of them.
You think you're getting beat up? That's what I'd be thinking.
I was genuinely like walking back, and my heart was going 100 miles an hour. I was kind of shaking. I was like, oh my god, I actually thought I was going to get battered there. But then I've gone out to my friend's leaving night. She's moving to San Francisco, but I didn't drink enough and I was in a bad mood because actually, you know what? I can tell this on the podcast now.
Yeah,
I
you
can tell the
talk about
crack.
it.
So I've
There's
been
a
keeping
wee
a secret. I've been keeping a secret, and that would have been a secret that I would have had to keep until like next April, May. But the plans have changed.
Yeah.
And I basically, so you know the way a couple of months ago we had Cara and Eva on from I Kissed the Girl that was on the BBC. It's kind of like Gay Love Island. So they were on the podcast, and when they left, I was like, I feel like I want to do the boy one. So I just put it out there, said it, and the next thing I get a message from the cast and producer from I Kissed the Boy. He messaged me, he was like, oh, love your vibe, da 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 da. Started going through the interview process, done loads of like calls, done loads of like Zoom meetings with different producers and stuff.
Everything. It was actually a lot.
It was a lot. And then I got to every round I've done as well. I left thinking, oh, I'm not through this round, not through this round. And then he kept calling me back for more and more. And then it got to a point where I was flown over to London and I done like a really intensive interview with like loads of producers. And then I done a psych test with a psychotherapist. And it was really intense. Like they went through every detail of my life, like all my traumas and all. And I left that meeting and I was like, I'm absolutely not through here. I definitely give them way too much information.
They're like, yeah, maybe this psycho's not coming on. No,
I was like, oh my God. And then next thing I'm in Albufeira and the producers messaged me and they're like, hey, we want to come meet your family. And I had already filled out all the forms. I started doing like medical checks, criminal record checks, social media checks. They just have to do all these background checks on the people going on the show or whatever. So done all the checks. And like I've heard before, like if you get to this far, like you're a very good chance of getting on it. And then
it's probably literally between you and one other person.
Yeah. So then the fucking producers flew to Loch McCrory in the middle of Tyrone, all the way over from London to meet my mum and dad and all. Had like a big interview with all them. And they left. And my mum and dad was like, we really don't. After a while, mummy and daddy done research on like people who've gone on like Love Island and stuff, and they're like, we are actually really worried about you. They didn't want me to do it, but they were also like, we think you're going on it just because of the way they were speaking and stuff. And to be fair, the whole way throughout the process, they were always like you don't know if you're going on it until you're actually in the villa or whatever.
Yeah, they could literally fly you out on standby or whatever.
So like there always is this like a doubt whether you're going through or not. But because it got to the last stage, I would have literally been flying to Italy in the next like week or so. And I was like, I'm through. So I've literally spent like hundreds of pounds on PT, been PTing like fuck. Spent literally nearly $1,000 on clothes and ASOS just to get prepared for the show. Do you know what I mean? Like
at least you've new nice clothes.
I'm returning like everything. I'm not keeping all that. It was all for the show. I don't need all those clothes. Do you know what I mean? But I've kept a few things from Morocco. But yeah, basically was about to go on I Kissed the Boy and would have been flying out next week. And I'm kind of raging. I was kind of raging, to be fair, because I was like anticipating like going on the show, like a really sick adventure.
But what do we always say?
But
what's meant for you won't pass you, so it wasn't meant for you.
Literally what I've been saying. So yeah, I was kind of pissed off. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to Emerge. Went to Emerge with my friend Sarah, who's leaving. Had a bit of crack. Ended up out sort of most of the night. Looked after that girl and stuff. And then
you went to James Arthur last night?
I did. I was hungover on Sunday. Went to cinema on Monday by myself. Was hungover. Solo date. I went to Avenue. It's actually a sick cinema. It's so expensive.
It is so cool.
If you don't book online, it's like 17 quid for a ticket. And then yesterday I went and went shopping for Morocco basically, and then on the way back the sun was shining. I heard James Arthur was on. Fucking, I'm gonna get a ticket. Almost got scammed. This young Irish girl was like trying to sell me a ticket on Facebook, and I was like, perfect. She had like photos of her and her friends and family for the past 5 years, and I was like, this girl looks legit. So started messaging her. She was like, send me a link on Revolut, and I was like, no one's ever done that before. So went to send it to her. And then next thing she was like, oh, the link's not working, can you send me on PayPal? Sends me an email address of some like foreign man's name, and I was like,
someone must have hacked her Facebook. That's what they're doing now.
Oh really?
They're hacking people's social media accounts so that they can use the social media to scam, especially accounts that look genuine. So used to be if you went on to an account and you were like, oh, it looks legit, you could trust it. Now most tickets are Ticketmaster and you can transfer them literally. So I always say, like, unless they're doing a Ticketmaster transfer.
So that's what so they were sending me screenshots of Ticketmaster, and they were like, I'll just transfer it over Ticketmaster, just send me the money first. So I was like, oh, it must be kind of legit. But as soon as the name came through, I was like, no way.
Yeah.
And she replied, oh, that's my partner. And then the way she was texting, I was like, that doesn't seem like someone with English as their first language as the way someone would text from Ireland, if that makes sense.
I got a phone call the other day, a scam one, and I was like, these ones are getting smart. Like, they're getting smart. But it's so funny, like, so my phone company I'm with is Tesco, but I've bought my phone outright, so I don't have a contract. I just pay top up every month. Like, I top up, it's called like a rocket pack, so I pay like £30 and I get like data or whatever, but I have to physically go on and pay for it. It's not a contract. It's not like a rolling thing. SIM only, isn't it, you call it? So I get a phone call the other day, And they were basically saying, oh, it's such and such from Tesco Mobile and we want to offer you a cheaper tariff for your contract and all. I was like, first of all, smart. They must have rang me and managed to get like my voicemail to see I'm with Tesco.
Yeah.
But luckily, I don't have a contract. So I was like, I just went, I don't have a contract, thank you, bye. But you could literally hear other people talking in the background telling him what to say.
Oh shit, yeah.
And so I was like, next time try and not get your mate to talk in the background.
Why are people scamming? Like, you're gonna get bad karma for that, you silly bastards.
Yeah.
I hate it.
It's the same with like people to me, it's the same thing, scamming and like going into someone's house and robbing them. It's the same vibe, like you're stealing. And I'm always like, just if you want money that badly, use the time you spend scamming to do something else and to make money. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, it's still hard work to scam.
100%. You have to graft to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as soon as I said no to this person, she was like begging me to send her 20 quid, and I was like, this is clearly a fucking scam.
Yeah, but you got sorted.
I eventually got 2 tickets, but I was literally at concert started at 6, and this was at like nearly 8 o'clock, and I had 2 tickets, and I was like, put on my story, I was like, if anyone wants to come now, but like you need to come right now. So I just went on my own, and then I met a few lovely gals who follow me on here or socials or whatever, and just
under their wing.
Took me under their wing, and then James Arthur was class, just singing away, vibing away. He actually has loads of good songs, to be fair. He's a class singer. And then I started bucking him when we were leaving, so I was like, right, gals, I'm going to leave you home. And then came home. And that actually, I think that could lead us up to the Wait Till You Hear the Crack plus the main segment for this week.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Belsonic last night. It's Belsonic, wasn't it? It is Belsonic,
so,
yeah. And I was getting a flashback of my first ever like Belsonic sort of drinking thing when I was like 16 or something. I think I might have been like 17 maybe. But this is now the Wait Till You Hear the Crack. I think it could be story time. So I would have been like maybe 16, 17. It would have been my first like ever concert in like Belfast or whatever. Got the bus up from Tyrone, and like this is when you first start drinking. So you're fucking drinking like a quarter bottle or a half bottle of vodka, and you're absolutely steaming like. So I went up on the bus from Belfast with all the ones from school or whatever to a Codeline concert. And the Codeline concert is like chill. Like lovey-dovey vibes, and we're all rocking up from Oma, all absolutely blocked 16-year-olds. Like, and to be fair, last night at James Arthur I did see loads of like young ones like being taken out by security and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, that was probably me. But went anyway. Love Codeline, and I remember the main singer Steve, is it?
Oh, I haven't a clue.
Do you not?
I know who Codeline are, but I don't know what you call the singers.
The main singer, years ago, I used to have like the same hair as him, and I'd be like a wee bit gingerish as well. Everyone used to always say that's my twin. Like I look really like him. So everyone used to like at Codeline concerts and all. Everyone would video like Steve on stage and like be like, "Oh my god, Cara Kern," which is my name when I was 16. It's my actual name. No, it's still my name. What do you mean? Shut up! That is my actual name.
I was talking to someone the other day, and they were like talking about Kegs, not in a bad way. I've told you the story, and they were like Kegs, and then they went, "What's his real name?" What? That felt really weird saying, "What is his real name?" I was like, "It's Car."
It's Car. Yes, my actual name. People were like tagging my actual name, be like, "Oh my god, that's you on stage" or whatever. So I was like obsessed with Cool. I loved their songs a lot there as well. And I was kind of like in a wee bit of a like sad era anyway, so I always listened to like sad songs and stuff. I ended up being blocked, and like you know me, when I'm on a night out, even at 26, 27, I lose everyone and I bounce about by myself. So I was
after us just telling the story about not leaving your friends.
Yeah, well, I definitely
do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do. No, but I don't get in states where I don't know where I am and don't know my name. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I always was kind of in control of what I was doing. I was a bit crazy, but like I'm always in control of myself, if that makes sense. Anyway, so I was running about with all these people. And when you're 16, you think people who live in the Holy Lands are so cool. Like you're like, oh my god, them older ones. Like the Holy Lands is like the dream. It's like heaven on earth. Like you think it's like the best place in the world. Do you know what I mean? So I ended up becoming friends with these ones who were in uni in the Holy Lands, way older than me, and I just ended up sticking around with them. And like I was pretending I was older and all. Like I mean, maybe 16-year-old baby, like. And like looking back, that's Joseph. To be fair, my baby brother. Like oh my god, we baby Joe. But became friends with them and ended up going back to the Holy Lands. My whole bus of all like the 16-year-olds from where I'm from ringing me, freaking walking around the streets trying to find me, like where is he? So the bus left me in Belfast, and I ended up staying with these ones that I had met and became friends with all them. They were like, oh, you can stay in our house, da da da. And I thought it was so cool being 16, staying in the Holy Lands. Like, oh my god, I'm going to tell all my mates next week in school that I stayed in the Holy Lands the weekend. But anyway, they were like, do you want to come to, is it Villa? Villa. So I ended up going to Villa with these like students that I had met. And one of the guys who was there, so random as well. I randomly seen him on TikTok live recently, and I was like, oh my god, I was partying with you in the Holy Lands 10 years ago. And the only reason I remember him is because he brought me to VIP in Villa and Codaline was there. So I ended up
Oh, no way.
in the VIP with Codaline the whole night of pictures of me like with your man Steve beside each other.
That's
I was
so
like
funny.
16, absolutely blocked. I was like, oh my God, it's so funny.
That's so
And
funny.
I thought I was the coolest person ever
The
being
bee's
out,
knees.
being out in Belfast, staying at the Holy Lands. I'm like, oh my God, we baby kegs, like
King
baby
of the Holy Lands. That's so funny.
But yeah, that's my way to hear the crack this week. I think it's a bit of a more wholesome one. I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes they're a bit dirty or
A
wild.
bit mad.
Right, but
Yeah.
it's a bit more of a wholesome one.
Bit chill.
But yeah, and I think that could then move us on to the what's the crack with maybe.
What's the crack with? So we were kind of talking, and I was like, well, it's everyone's just got their GCSE A-level results. I know the likes of my youngest sister, she's going into 5th year, and she's not panicking at all. But we're kind of being like, so what's the plan? Like,
Yeah,
her
same with
school
Jo.
only goes up to 5th year, so we're like,
Oh, does it?
yeah, her school only goes 5th year, so you either need to move school, go to tech, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I don't know. But I know there's a lot of people not as chill as her out there who are maybe panicking. They've got their GCSE results, maybe they're not able to go back and do what they wanted to do, or they've got their A-level results and they maybe can't go to the uni they want to go to, and they're thinking about tech and jobs and whatever else. So we thought we could just have a wee chat about that.
About like that and maybe like jobs of work and stuff. Because the reason I thought about it was because I was at Belsonic again last night. I was seeing everyone who was working behind the bar walking around and putting the litter into bin bags. And I had a flashback. I was like, oh my God, I used to do that. I worked at Belsonic when I was like 18. Went up to Belfast for like the couple of weeks that it was on. And I remember I was always in like the first bar because I think it was like alphabetical order. So I was always in like the first few bars. And the first few bars were allowed to close early before the main act came on. And you were allowed to go around and pick up the rubbish. So
And
like
what?
we basically just went out with the bin bags and went and watched the acts every time.
Yeah.
And that was a good way as well. So I would have done that by myself, and I would have made a few friends and stuff doing that as well. So
Yeah.
and it was I remember
And got paid.
but I remember for being 18, I think it was like quite good pay for like an 18-year-old or 17 or no, it would have been 18 because you had to be 18 to work in the bar. But I loved that, and I was like, right, that's a fun wee job that I had. But I was thinking, I was like, I think I've had about fucking 1 million jobs.
Same.
Like you started at work early as well. Like we both started grafting. Like I remember as soon as I turned 16, I would have been doing my GCSEs, and I got a job a week after I turned 16 in River Island. I remember I was just like, I went for it, and I ended up working
As soon
there
as you
for
got
like
that
4 years.
national insurance number.
As soon as I got the national insurance number,
Do you know what's so funny? I was thinking this the other day. My sister got her national insurance number at like 13
How?
because she was working.
What?
So if I forgot about this until the other day, because she had to start work, she was modelling and doing social media. Because she
Shut
started
up.
earning money, that she was able to request her national insurance number early.
I didn't even know that was legal.
Yeah, well, technically, if a child's working, otherwise it'd be child labour if they're not getting paid for
Oh
it.
shit! Right. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, she got hers early, but I did work illegally for quite a few years.
Where'd you work?
I worked from I was 13. I started working on a Saturday in like a hairdresser's. It was like a kids' hairdresser's.
Yeah.
I done like dancing at the time, so I was really good.
Kids hairdressers. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, so it was really good for obviously like some children are really afraid of hairdressers, afraid of getting their hair done. So they had nearly like, so you know the machines the kids like ride on, they put a pound in, it goes back and forward. Like they're like and they play music. Kind of like that without the music in it, and they sat in them to get their hair cut. So it made it nice and chill for, or even maybe like SEN children, you know, that maybe children that are on the spectrum and struggle with noise and stuff, they were able to adjust. It was very, very good.
I want to interrupt this actually when you speak about children on the spectrum. I met this really lovely lady who follows me on socials last night. She was talking about like the podcast and stuff. She might be listening. Shout out to you, you're an angel. But she was there with her daughter, who is like a teenager, really young girl. But she's also like got autism and ADHD and stuff. And it was her first ever concert. And she basically it was her first ever concert, and fair play to her, such a brave gal. She went in such a big, crazy environment, and she was definitely like freaking out a wee bit. So with all like the noise and all the people and stuff, and she was saying that she'd love maybe for us maybe to one day speak about like autism or ADHD awareness and stuff. So I was like, I think we should definitely get someone on sometime professionally to speak about that, because like people weren't aware of it, like this girl maybe being like freaking out or whatever. So
and it's not even, a lot of people aren't even ignorant. It's not even, it's just uneducated.
Yeah, 100%.
So, you know, some people don't even mean to maybe be ignorant to it. But yeah, it was really good. I worked in there for ages, and then started working in a different hairdressers when I was getting a bit older. And then like up my hours.
Were you ever trained to do hairdressing?
No.
No?
No. But
what did you do there?
I learned there how to do like blow dries and washing hair and brushing the floor, cleaning the place, making cups of tea for people, putting tints on, stuff like that. Done that for ages, because whenever I was in school, I did have an interest in beauty, but when I was in school, I was going to be a lawyer.
Really?
I was like 100%.
What the fuck?
The whole way through school. Barrister.
Big barrister
Whole way
Shannon.
through
To be fair,
school.
you could pass as a barrister now with your short
With
hair.
the
Very,
haircut.
very sophisticated.
And it wasn't until, this is why I always say to people, like, take it as it comes, because when I was in school, right up to getting my GCSE results, like, it was the parent teachers interview before GCSE results, whenever you're like planning what you're going to do. Right up until that point, I was obviously staying on in school. I was going to go to uni. I was going to do law. I just was like niggling in my head, and I was like, I'm just going to say it. And I said at the parent teachers interview, I was like, I actually want to leave school and go to tech and do
Unreal.
beauty therapy.
Class.
And my teacher nearly at the head of me. I was crying. They were like, you're wasting your life. You're far too smart for this, far too smart. And I look back now and I'm like, bitch, the beauty therapists are making more than teachers.
Yeah.
And that is the truth.
Yeah.
Like, that is the truth. I have friends that don't even do beauty therapy. They just do nails, and they're making mega bucks, and fair fucks to them because they work their ass off and they're
Class.
talented. But
And what were you like good in school? Like, did you get good grades and all that there?
but
Nice.
just I'd lost an interest in it, and I look back now and I'm like, thank God I went with my heart, because if I had have went with my head and what people were telling me, I could have probably still been studying and or working a job that I look now and there's nothing that I could have went to uni for that I would actually still have an interest in doing. And that's the God honest truth.
Yeah.
Where I think it's embedded in a lot of people. Do not get me wrong. There's amazing jobs out there that you know you do have to study for and go to uni and continue learning. But there's also so many other options.
Yeah.
So many other options. So yeah, I done 2 years doing level 3 beauty therapy in Titanic Quarter Tech. Loved it.
Yeah.
Became a bit of a messer, I'll not lie. I went from being goody two shoes angel to a wee bit
Oh, was this when you were like 16, 17?
rowdier, because obviously I was the youngest in my class.
Okay.
Most people there were older. A lot of them even had families and were like returning to education.
Yeah.
So I did become a wee bit of a menace, a wee bit of a class menace.
Bad bitch.
Yeah, I got a written warning and everything one time, and I was like, I'm not fucking signing that. I was like, not signing it. Didn't sign it, refused to, because I didn't think it was fair. But like younger Shannon wouldn't have even got a written warning. Like, there's no way. But yeah, loved it. Worked then, done a course as a makeup artist after that. The whole way through, while I was in tech as well, this is like, anyone that's like struggling for work, I always recommend this.
Yeah.
Especially girls, because they don't think that this is like an opportunity. Recruitment agencies. So I joined Grafton in Belfast City
Oh
Centre.
my God, yeah, I know that.
Grafton's like a lot of the jobs, yeah, they're construction or whatever, but there's a lot of other opportunities. So I ended up getting a job for Belfast City Council through that, sitting on my little ass, basically. I was a mobile facilities attendant, basically a receptionist, worked in bowling greens, worked in football clubs, like changing rooms.
Oh my God, Grafton Recruitment. I've done work with them as well before. They used to get me jobs in like bars for like
Bars,
events.
yeah, they would do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the pay was so good considering I was like 16, 17. And
Oh my God, I forgot about them. That's crazy.
I think I was getting, say, like normal weekdays, I would have finished tech at 3, started work 4 to 9, finished at work and flipping, went out in the drink probably to Thompson's. No, didn't really go out much, so I was 18 more. Done that for years, to be fair, and I think the pay at that time was maybe like 10.50 minimum, and if you worked weekends and all, it like went way up. But it was
Class.
really, really good. So anyone that is maybe struggling for work, recruitment opportunities are really
Yeah.
good, because a lot of them are casual as well. You can pick and choose.
So you were the same as me. You were like studying, but also like grafting. Because like I was, to be fair, in school, like you said, I was also quite good at school until I started going a wee bit more feral, and then my grades definitely started to slip. But I would have been like quite smart at like growing up or whatever. And then as soon as I was 16, like you said, I literally got a job immediately. Got a job in River Island, and then when I was doing my A levels, I had fucking no interest in school. Didn't want to be there. Not gonna lie. I was really struggling mentally, and I skipped school all the time. My mom, my teachers, and everything were calling me in all the time, being like, "What is going on?" Because my attendance was like 30%. Like, I
bad.
was so bad. I still managed to get like decent enough grades for my A levels because I just did everything last second. But I definitely was not good at school. But I was also working 3 jobs at once because all I wanted to do was have money to have some sense of freedom. So I would have been like working in River Island, Argos, and Sally's nightclub in Oma, all twice doing my A levels. Like every night of the week I was working. Sometimes I used to skip school and work, which do not do, kids. That's a bad idea.
No.
But I definitely was my priorities were that. And even looking at that, I should have looked and been like, when I was going to uni and stuff, because I went and done an apprenticeship, which is what my mum wanted me to do at the time, because she was a careers teacher and she just thought it was the best route for me at the time. And I got the right grades. I done the interview process, got the right grades to get into this apprenticeship with a company called and I probably shouldn't say that. Maybe we shouldn't say the name.
A company called
a company called And I went to that, but it was like something that other people thought I would do. But if I look back at school, I didn't want to study anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I was prioritizing working and actually earning money to have freedom rather than actually studying at the time. So I should have looked at that and be like, I probably shouldn't go into more further
It's basically
studying.
just doing what's right for you, isn't it? Like I've one of my cousins, she worked her ass off at school because she knew she wanted this end goal. Not get into what she is and all, 'cause it's her private information.
Yeah.
But she worked her wee bum off in school and had to sacrifice a lot of things. But now she's able to be where she wants in her career.
Yeah.
And that's what suited her path. Because I remember, I've said this before on the podcast, I used to kind of compare myself and go, oh, fuck, I really fucked it here. She's doing so well for herself and blah, blah, blah. And I'm so glad I'm at a stage in my life and I'm able to go, oh, I didn't. I done what was right for me and I'm
100%.
glad and I don't regret it.
Yeah.
So just always remember that. Go with your heart. Go with your heart and what you want to do. And if you are sitting there and you've maybe got your results for your levels and GCSEs and they're not what you intended, just keep going with it. You can always repeat things. I have friends that went back to tech just to repeat so that they could get to their university that they wanted to get to, and they've done it now.
The amount of people, like massive millionaires and successful entrepreneurs and business owners and that I hear on podcasts that are like, didn't get my GCSEs, didn't get my A levels, didn't go to uni because that it wasn't right for me, because school is like a system that is structured for certain people with the certain
and it doesn't work for others.
It doesn't work for others. Like it doesn't work for maybe people with like ADHD and things like that, because it's like it works for some people, doesn't work for others. Doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful in so many other things. So don't let maybe if you didn't get the best grades make that system, that one system that may not
There's
be
so many other
right
opportunities
to make you feel like maybe, oh, I'm not smart enough to do this, or I'm not good enough to be like successful. That is incorrect. Like you literally could go out there and you could set up a business and you could be a millionaire. Who knows? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the same thing, it's just to kind of make sure we're getting both sides, like nearly devil's advocate, as in, yes, for some people then that you're going to work with a more creative route, but then there's also people that can't work outside of a school system. Like they need to be in
Structure.
that study structure environment, and that's what works for them to get their goals. So just also make sure you're not comparing yourself. Like I was saying, I used to, and I look back and regret. The only thing I regret is comparing. I don't regret anything else, but
and everyone is different. Like we're every single person is so unique, works in different ways, wants to do different things. But some person might be more like book smart with maths or English. Some people might be more creative. It just really depends. And it's just
persevering with your goals. Like I remember, I look back and think when I was at my GCSEs, my nerves were wrecked. I have not even looked at them since.
I can barely
and the
remember
amount of
hour.
jobs that I've had, and yes, they asked you to write it on your CV, but I guarantee half of them don't even look at what they don't, and that's the God honest truth. Obviously, there's certain jobs out there, before anyone says anything, there's certain jobs you 100% need them requirements. But a lot of the time, a lot of it is your personality, your skill set, and whatever else. So just try not to work yourself up about it. You can repeat things. You can. We could go back and repeat things now. It's never too late either. So even if you're feeling so down, you're feeling a bit stuck in the mud, and you're like, I can't take a wee break. Take a wee break from studying and go and get a wee job.
So this is
and
what
figure
I was
things
say.
out.
So I obviously went, as soon as I finished school, I got a one-way flight to Ayia Napa for the summer. I'd done like a party season, and that was kind of like a bit of a break. But then I went back to the company that I was working for, doing an apprenticeship 4 days a week and uni 1 day a week. Absolutely hated it. Was not for me. I should not have been there, but I did it because other people wanted me to do it. And then eventually ended up getting kicked out of uni and the job at the same time because it was all linked. And that day I got kicked out, I was like, oh my God, my life is over. Like I've literally fucked up so bad here. Like I was like crying my eyes out. I was like, what am I going to do? And all I said on that day was like, all I want to do is travel. I'm going to travel the world. Don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I then ended up just randomly getting jobs here and there. Everyone started traveling. I ended up traveling for years. And that's all I wanted to do when I was a teenager anyway. So like, don't force yourself to do something that other people want you to do, and deep down you know you don't want to do it, because
you're missing the opportunity of maybe finding what is for you.
And like, say you do want to travel, maybe just try and look for jobs on like random places abroad and go away for a year, try it out, and when you're away for that year, you'll learn more about yourself to then be like, oh, I wouldn't mind doing this, or I wouldn't mind doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like when I started traveling, I was like, oh, I actually got an interest in like psychology and stuff like that too, and that's maybe something I would like to learn more about in the future. Do you know what I mean? And
that's the thing. A lot of the time people think once they're in a job, like, oh, this is me now, this is me. Like, don't think like that. Obviously, when
Mm-mm.
you're in the interview, I'm like, yes, I'm going to be every flipping job. Yes, I will be here for life. I'm so dedicated to this company.
Yeah.
We all say it in an interview. Do any of us mean it?
No. My
No.
mum, in her, I don't know what age she was when she changed, maybe like around 50, completely changed career path. She was
Yeah.
she was a teacher her whole life, and then something just she wanted to change career and just completely change direction. Now she works for like manufacturing and engineering companies,
Yeah.
and she absolutely loves that she's done that because she's
Mhm.
changed her career. So you can literally change career in any sector
Yeah.
at any time
A
throughout
fresh
your whole life.
restart. Like, as I said, I done that for Belfast City Council. Actually did love it, but I mean, wasn't getting much out of it. It was
Yeah.
paying the drinking habit at the time in the
Yeah.
teenage years. Then I worked freelance as a makeup artist. I also worked in Victoria Square as a makeup artist. Took time out of work to manage my sister. Moved to London for a while, back and forth
That's
with
right.
LA. Then I came home, and that's when I was like, oh shit. Like, oh shit, like, what am I going to do now? Because I'd gave up my makeup. I didn't go to uni. That's a stage that I remember thinking, have I messed up?
Mm.
And I just had to like keep the faith. Ended up working doing care in the community
Yeah.
for 6 months. So anyone that doesn't know this, just another wee thing, especially people that maybe are disappointed in their results and just want to try a job. So care in the community is such an underpaid job. Such an underpaid job. It's ridiculous. Such a rewarding job, but
Yeah.
such a difficult job. It needs to be assessed. But once you have 6 months experience in that, you're able to join healthcare agencies and get agency work.
Okay,
So
sick.
that's what I did, and I got blocked booked in a mental health and learning disability unit and loved it, and it's a lot better paid then.
Oh, really?
So I was blocked booked there for like 2 years, did longer than that, but amazing, and a lot better money.
Yeah.
Not that it's all about money, but I mean, it's a bonus if you're doing something you love and you're getting decent pay.
100%. Aye.
Then I worked there during lockdown.
Yeah.
Then when lockdown ended the first time, I was like, right, I want to rechange the scenery here, whatever. I'd been taking an interest again in social media. Obviously, I'd worked it with my sister. Got a job in a hairdresser's doing social media in front of house. Went back into lockdown.
Mm.
I was like, shit, because I wasn't on the original furlough scheme.
Yeah.
I wasn't entitled to any money, but I couldn't work because of
Oh,
lockdown.
shit. Right. Okay.
So I was like, oh my goodness, I was renting at the time, like renting an apartment. I was
Yeah.
like, what am I going to do? So I ended up getting a job in a chemist because I was like, that's going to be, my mum worked in it. And I was like, this has to stay open even during lockdown.
Yeah.
Then when lockdown ended again, I ended up just staying in the chemist because I was like, this is secure. Even if we go into another, everyone was so uncertain during that time. What a weird time.
Yeah.
So I just stayed in there. And
Like, that's what I mean. We have, through our 20s, both of us have tried so many different
many
jobs,
jobs.
so many different career paths, and so many
Mhm.
different sectors. But that's what I mean. We're all so young. If you're in your 20s,
don't
d-
feel
d-
like that's you stuff.
don't feel like you're stuck, and just try different things. Try maybe completely different career paths and see what you sort of like,
Mhm.
and then you'll find out what you sort of, maybe what direction you want to go in. Like, even as both of us now, we're doing what we love, but we still don't know what the future holds.
There's
We
still
don't know what
fluidity
direction
there that, yeah,
we want to go in.
and I think I'll probably do that for the rest of my life, to be
Yeah,
honest, because
I'm
I've
same.
enjoyed it.
Winging it.
When I look back at all the different jobs I had, I'm like, I'm so glad I haven't just been stuck in the same
Yeah.
job all my life and experienced all these things. Because after the chemist, again, enjoyed the chemist for the
Yeah.
time I was there. It was no bad blood leaving.
I've enjoyed most of my jobs. There's a few where
Yeah.
I'm like, I hate it, but most of my
Yeah.
jobs I've actually quite
Really enjoyed.
Yeah.
That's whenever I started working as an estate agent, and that was my job just before I
Yeah.
done social media full time. And again, that's a job that I wouldn't mind. I actually had a message a few weeks ago, someone asking
Yeah.
for me to come work for them. And I was like, I'm just so busy at the minute, but should things change, 100% keep me in mind, because it's always, and then you've all these different opportunities that you can dip back into.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
100%.
mean?
I think we should do like what our favorite jobs were, what our worst jobs were, and maybe a job that we'd like to try if we weren't doing social media.
Okay. Do
Right,
you want to
so
go first?
we'll do our best jobs. What's
Okay.
your favorite job you've had apart from social media?
Okay. I would say I loved doing makeup.
Yeah.
Working as a makeup artist, I loved it because I was meeting, it's quite similar to social media.
Yeah.
I was getting to be creative. I was meeting new people. I was meeting lovely people. I was doing bridal makeup as well. So I was being a part of people's like really special days. And
Yeah.
that would probably be my like absolute favourite.
Okay, cool.
I still, as I said, like estate agent, mental health unit, loved all that.
Yeah.
But that's like, it has a wee special place in my heart.
Mm. I would say I do like jobs where I'm quite social, to be fair. I like when I was a teenager, I used to love like working around Ireland, like all that sort of stuff. And I definitely worked in like many different sort of party places across the world, which I love doing as well. But my
Mhm.
favourites have to be sales team in Ibiza Rocks. It
Yeah,
was
that would be
the
good.
easiest job ever. Such fun. And I also loved working on Ocean Beach, to be fair. I would say Ibiza jobs my favourite. I actually don't know if you've seen Adam Murs, randomly bumped into my cousin. But
Oh,
he's like
yeah, I
my
did see
far out
that.
cousin. I literally haven't seen. I remember when he came up to me, I was like, "What do you mean you're my cousin?" And then he said who he was, like his mum,
And
his
you're
cousin, my
like,
dad. I was like, "Oh my god!" I literally remember going to see you and your twin brother when you were just born, 18
No
years ago,
way.
and now you're at the rave with me. I was like, "This is crazy." But I was talking to him, and he was like, "Oh, I've just like left school. I'm going to tech. I don't know what to do with myself." And I was like, "Lad, if you're like in the rave scene, if you go to Ibiza
Go
for
to
the summer.
Ibiza and
You
do a
will absolutely
season.
love it. Like it's so fun. I recommend it to everyone if you're in that sort of like ravey sort of scene
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, I say those
They're
Ibiza
your
jobs are my
fave.
favorite for sure. Worst jobs, I have quite a few.
I think my worst job, not because I didn't like the job, I didn't like the place I was working for. So I worked as an estate agent for 2 different places. So that's why I don't want anything to get confused. The last place I worked for, darling, loved the girl. She was
Yeah.
a babe. The place before,
Bad
and it
vibes.
seemed so good at the start. And that's what I'm saying. I still loved working the job
Yeah.
and meeting the people I was meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But it was who I was surrounded by. That was
Okay.
bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. Yeah.
Fair. That's the worst
Yeah.
one. My worst one, obviously didn't like the corporate job, but I really actually enjoyed maybe feeling like a bit of an adult, and I enjoyed the people that I met throughout that as well. So I wouldn't say that's my worst one. My worst job, I'm gonna say maybe the cruise ship.
Oh yeah, you've talked about
So,
that before. It did
yeah,
sound like hell, to be fair.
it was dreamed. It was looked like a dream job from like the outside in, but it was a really shit job, like really shit pay, really shit hours. My manager was just a horrible bitch. But I met some cool people and did see some really beautiful places, and it was at a point in my life where I think I needed to be there. So obviously I was meant to be there, but it was a shitty enough job. And
Yeah,
don't
like you wouldn't go back to it.
don't
kind
let
of
me
thing.
put that you off ever working on cruise ships, because there's some cruise ships that are amazing to
Better
work
than
for.
others.
There's
Yeah.
some cruise ships jobs that are way better than others as well. So don't let that put you off cruise
Sometimes
ship
it can
jobs.
just be the company rather than the actual job.
Yeah, and the people maybe as well.
That
Like,
was, or both our answers were similar vibes because
Yeah.
it wasn't we didn't like the job, we didn't like the situation.
I think as well, there was a few jobs I worked. Like I worked in a really shitty bar in Marbella, and I also worked for like the nightclub industry in Miami when I worked for Spring Break. Both of them didn't pay you. They paid you commission, so you could have been working the whole day, and you
off
might
it
have
and
made,
off it.
if you sold no tickets, you made £0.
Oh god.
And like it was just really hard, challenging job. And don't get me wrong, it was still fun. Like you got to party for free, and at those points in my life, all I wanted to do was party anyway. So like you got accommodation and partying anyway, so it was sort of fine. You just had to get extra money for food, but
Yeah.
and you met some fun people. But then again, I would not work for a job that doesn't fucking pay you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like slave labor. But yeah, that was the worst. A job that you would like to do that you've never done before, that you would be maybe you might never do it, but it's like just something that maybe would appeal to you randomly. That's a hard
I
question.
really debated doing my mental health nursing at a stage.
Really, yeah.
Like whenever I was working in the mental health unit, like I was ready to, because I done level 3 beauty therapy. There's like easy stepping stones to be able to do nursing. Weirdly,
Yeah.
like even you can go and do your level 4. This is what I mean by so many opportunities. Like people think it's like you have to go down a certain road.
Yeah.
But the year that I done my level 3 beauty therapy, if I had went on the next year and done my level 4, you're then able to go and do like midwifery and all, midwifery, whatever you call it. So there was stepping stones I would have been able to do. The only reason it put me off, and this is the government's fault, is the way you have to like work and what you get paid when you're doing nursing. So I don't know if you know, if you go and do nursing, you get a bursary, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it could have went up, but I know when I was looking, it was £400 a month. However, that's fine when you're in class and you're able to like work bank shifts or work agency shifts around that, because then you can you're getting your 400 bursary base rate, but then you'll get extra money if you work.
Yeah.
But what happens when you're on placement, doing for 6 weeks or whatever it is, doing 40 hours a week placement?
Yeah.
You're still getting £400 a month bursary. They don't pay you. Where I feel like you should be paid even like a minimum wage on top of your bursary when you're on placement.
100%.
Yeah.
What the
So
hell?
that's what put me off, because my friend,
are they not starting to do that though?
I don't know, but at the time my
I think
friend
I think
had
they
just
are in
went through
England,
it.
but they're not here yet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
My friend had just went through it, and he was like to me, "You're used to earning a full-time wage now, Shannon.
Okay.
So it'll be really hard. Yes, there's like different loans and whatever else, but it would be hard for you to be used to not getting your full-time wage anymore, but,
Yeah, that would be
but working
difficult.
full-time hours. So that's something I actually would love to do.
That'd be sick. I could see you doing that, to be fair, yeah.
But it's the way you have to go about it. There's maybe other options, to be fair, but we'll see. Maybe one day.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I've got loads of different ones. I feel like I've got like different things that I'm like drawn to as probably a part of the person I am. I'm fucking attracted to so many different variations of myself. I definitely could see myself maybe being like a presenter or something. Definitely something to do with entertainment. If I could sing, I would be a fucking singer. If I could dance, I would be a dancer. Just something to be entertainer sort of vibe. But also, I'm really fascinated by like the human brain and by like the way people think and the way the brains work and stuff. So I would love to maybe do like neuroscience, like a neuroscientist or something,
Yeah.
or like even psychology. I'm really even in school, like I was really obsessed with like personal development class because I love like listening to how the human brain works and stuff. So that could be something I would definitely like to, would have maybe liked to do. Not because I know it could never still happen, because it might. I definitely did look up a couple of months ago neuroscience degrees, but you definitely need like science degrees in uni, and then also you need like science A levels. So I'm like, right, if I want to do that, I have to go and get science A levels.
But that's what we're saying, though. That's what we're saying. It is never too late.
Yeah,
like obviously at a certain stage, probably, but not even. There was a thing, an article a few years ago about a woman. Was she 90 or 80? And she'd went back to uni and done a full degree.
Sick. Slay.
I don't even know if she plans to use it, but it's never too late.
Yeah,
it's never too late. So never beat yourself up. But yeah, we'll move on. Dilemmas.
Right, lads, we're going to quickly move on to our wee dilemma section. We're only going to do like one or two because our guest for next week's episode has arrived. Because obviously Shannon is getting her tatas done. But no, wait, that's actually in a few weeks, is it?
That's September.
All right, okay. So
you're going on holiday.
I'm going to Morocco for my group trip with a group of people who are absolutely wee cuties, and I can't wait to go away with them. On Saturday, going away for 10 days. I've only booked a one-way flight though, so if I don't have any work on, I might just keep traveling for a few more days extra by myself after. So we're pre-recording. And yeah, well, her guest has just arrived, so we're just going to quickly do the dilemmas and then we'll get that one recorded. So, turns out the boy I was seeing since March was seeing another girl since May as well. When we rang each other to figure out his lies, turns out while he was lifting me to the airport, she was asleep in his bed. Goes on and on. The boy asked me to be exclusive in April, may I add. Cunt. Ben.
Ben is right. Ben is right. Chuck him to the side. Goodbye. And honestly, any dilemma or story that comes in about cheating just makes me sick to my stomach, and I always just have the same response. I'm just such a unforgivable person when it comes to things like that. So
I put this in my close friend story the other night, right? And this is maybe a wee bit unrelated, but if a guy wants to be a slut, I'm saying slut because I call myself a slut because I enjoy getting with people, then be a fucking slut. Don't be a fuckboy. Don't be fucking people with emotions about. Do you know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with like getting with different people if you are single
and you're open about it. Be communicative. Being like, hey, I like you. I like getting along with you.
Don't lead anyone on.
I'm also like getting with other people. Yeah. Be a real person.
But she has the right attitude, or he, because Ben. That is the answer.
Yeah.
Ben.
Good riddance. Let me see. Some old lady in the gym started stroking my leg today because she wanted to know if the leggings were good material before she bought from that brand. I was like, do I have to say bye to her now because I feel like I know her on a first name basis, or just me, or is the older generation hilarious?
Yeah, there is definitely different boundaries there. I think like the thing is, if that was like a young person done that to a young person, everyone would be like, oh
yeah.
And I suppose we do give the older generation a bit of, it doesn't make it right, but it is a different generation, and the normal for them is totally different to us.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting in a way too, because I know like there's certain things that older people say, like, and I do try to educate them as well, but you do kind of give it a bye ball because they were raised no different. So all we can do as a younger generation is kind of advise older people what's right and what's wrong now, and what's 100%. Acceptable and what isn't socially.
Because the world has changed since they were our age, do you know what I mean?
But it is, I have to say, I have a bit more forgiveness there with the older generation.
I also think if an older man done that to me in the gym, I would be a bit like, maybe it's because I'm gay and I'd be like, ooh, that's a bit weird. Why are you touching me?
It is a bit weird. It is a bit weird.
But if she was nice and you knew it was no like creepiness intentions, then I would just walk past and be like, bye girl, see you later.
Yeah.
Hope you have a good gym session.
Yeah, enjoy. Pump some on.
But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap that wee one up. I enjoyed that wee episode, to be fair. It was fun. But yeah, if you haven't yet hit subscribe or follow, please do so, because it really helps us out and gives us loads of wee guests and stuff on. And thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next week for our gorgeous guest, which is going to be coming on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, much love.
Love you.
Bye. Bye.